My dad was a Dutchman, and my dad always used to say, Irish and Dutch don't amount to much, but Irish beat the Dutch. My dad spent a lot of his young life in a reformatory. That's when the kid's bad. Back then, you send them to reformatory.
Yeah.
And it's the reformatory. They grow their own food. You didn't go there and just play games or nothing.
Yeah.
You worked out in the field every day.
Yeah.
And growed the food that you was eating, going to eat.
Right.
And you painted the buildings and everything else. Right outside of Washington, Pennsylvania. The name of the place is Monganza. And that place is still there. But it's something else that's converted into a nursing home or something. But that's where, and he had my butt down the Justice Peace Office one time. And because I played hooky from school so much. And he had, if that JP would have been in, my butt would have been down there too.
In the
He
reformatory.
said, I'll straighten you out.
And then grandma, now she's Irish. Okay, now you knew her parents?
I knew her brothers and sisters. No, I didn't know her. I imagine died or something before I've seen pictures of them and stuff, but I didn't.
Right, did you know they were from Ireland?
I don't think her mother and dad come from Ireland, but probably their ancestors did too. But they was full-blooded Irish.
So your mother was full-blooded Irish?
Yes.
Right, and your father was full-blooded Dutch?
Dutch. And my mother was, all her side of the family's real Catholic.
And what did your father do for a living?
Coal mines.
Oh, he did coal mines too?
Coal mines all the time. He worked in the coal mines when they dug the coal out by hand and then pulled the coal cars out with mules out of the coal mines.
And what did like the coal mining town you did they have their own money? I've heard about that before, where they had their own money.
Oh, they had scrip, what they call scrip.
Okay.
And you could only spend it at the company store or the beer joint.
Either or, huh?
Yeah, and they would pay you in scrip, and then the beer joints, usually they'd take it, and then if you wanted to go to town and buy something, you had to take that scrip to a beer joint and get real cash, and they would take a percentage of it for exchanging it for you. All the houses, they call them coal camps or patches or whatever, either one, and you lived in a company house, and they take that rent money out of your scrip before you even get it.
Right.
So they make sure you paid your rent.
They got their money.
Yeah, got their
one
money.
or the other.
Yeah. But it was real cheap back. I guess it was real cheap. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But the house I was born in, it was like two families in one house, and there was 2 rooms downstairs, 2 rooms upstairs, and same thing on this side of the house. But it was one building. You go up in there right now, and we have. If they sold them houses to individuals, one house they'd be painting this color, one side of the house painting this color. This guy didn't like that color, so he painted this side of his house.
Line down the middle of it,
right? Raymond was the oldest boy, and then Mickey was next. Mickey just died 4 or 5 years ago.
And how old was Uncle Mick?
82.
82, and then how old was Raymond when he died?
49.
49, he died of cancer? What kind of cancer?
Lung cancer, smoking.
Smoking? So they said it was from smoking?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, back then, I don't know whether they said it or not. They were
There's a
definitely.
lot of people get lung cancer without smoking at all.
No, his was from smoking.
It was from smoking, okay.
Yeah.
When your mom, wasn't your mother too?
Yeah, my mother died from smoking. She smoked when she was younger.
And how
I
old
don't
was
even
she?
remember smoking, but she died when she was 63.
Okay. Going about the cousins. Or, I mean, my uncles.
Well, there was Raymond, Mickey, Billy, Donald, and Regis, and me. That's the 6 boys.
Right. I know all them. I've
And now
heard
the
about
girls, there was Anna Mae, was the oldest. And then there was one, Marie died when she was like 11 or 12. And then there was another one, I don't remember her name, she died at birth. Or she was just a couple months old, something like that. And then there was Ellen and Dolores, and that's the 5 girls.
Helen. I don't remember her.
Ellen.
And Ellen,
Oh, I do remember Aunt Ellen. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
she lived in West Virginia.
Right.
Matter of fact, my dad lived with her until she died, and then after she died, I went and got Dad. We went down and got Dad and took him back to Virginia.
Right.
He lived with us the last 3 years he was living.
And how old he lived to be?
If he'd lived one more week, he'd have been 93.
Right, I know we went up there one time. Somebody was telling me he had an 18-year-old girlfriend or something.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I heard from somebody. I don't know who it was.
Yeah.
Can you tell the story about he used to go down and get beer, and stack it up for the winter?
Yeah.
And then
He'd stop the beer truck along the road when I was on the way to the beer joint. And he'd stop it up for the winter. I don't know how many cases, but they wheel it down there with their 2-wheel buggy put in these basements. Stock them up for the winter.
what was some of his interests? I mean, did he have, like, we worked on cars or motorcycles? I mean, he had interest in fish, whatever?
Yeah, he always worked on cars and lawnmowers. And I went and seen him one time. I hadn't seen him for about 3 years. And he was out on a picnic table at an engine and lawnmower tour party. And I walked up and said, "How you doing, Dad?" Raised up and said, "Oh, pretty good. How you, boy?" Kept on working on the lawnmower. I always had crazy animals. He had a skunk. It wasn't fixed either. And you walk very carefully around that skunk. And you didn't mess with him when that skunk was around. And he bought me a coon when I was a kid. And it was just wasn't much bigger than that cat, the coon was. But that coon growed up to be about 15, 16 pounds. And nobody could touch that coon but me.
Oh, really?
He'd get mad at it, and he'd busted him in the mouth and make that coon's nose bleed.
Your dad busted him in the mouth?
Yeah, because he'd bite my dad.
Right.
And my dad tried to pick him up, he'd bite him.
Well, tell me about when your dad would come home from work. A lot of times he just,
Oh, he'd just lay down. We have a cold cooking stove, and he'd come home, and he'd go get him a couple hours of sleep, go back to work. He'd lay down behind that stove and get him a couple hours of sleep. Never take a bath, anything, go right back to work, man.
Oh, really? That's how they, yeah. And he worked in the coal mine all them years, never got none of that stuff, that black lung or nothing?
yeah.
Oh, he did, yeah. Yeah, he got it, yeah.
Your dad had that?
Yeah, he was getting black lung checks when he died from the companies, that he worked for.
Right, well, did he go out drinking alcohol too much or anything?
Yeah, he drank like a damn fish.
I just wondered, how far back that goes. No, I'm just playing. Really, yeah.
Just me and him, all the boys was in the service, me and him was the only one home.
Yeah.
And we go to beer joints, and that's when I started driving. I was like 7, 8 years old. He'd get drunk and I'd drive home.
At 7. Isn't that
8 years
something?
old, yeah. And I got caught driving by the state police when I was 9 years old. And my dad was drunk, and he told the state police, he said, "I'll cut the damn brakes on your car and the brakes on this car and go down that damn mountain, and I bet you get down there and you won't." He said, "He knows how to drive a damn car."
What kind of car was that?
The 37 Terraplane made by Hudson.
Oh, the Hudson Terraplane?
Hudson Terraplane.
Never even heard of it. I haven't. And then what were some of your mother's interests? Did she knit, sew, whatever?
Yeah, she just crocheted, and she taught me how to crochet. Yeah, I used to crochet with her.
Right.
And,
There we go.
and then she would, of course, we butchered hogs, and then she would cure the meat, put them in a meat house, and hang up all the hams and all that stuff.
You had to do that?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, you had to slaughter your own meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty common practice when you were young, right?
Oh yeah, my mother said go get 2 chickens. We get company.
Yeah.
I go to the chicken house and grab a couple of chickens, chop the heads off, and throw them on. They flutter all over. Take them in and she'd check them. We'd butcher hogs. We'd start. Of course, the neighborhood would be on us. We like this guy's gonna butcher this weekend. That guy's gonna butcher next weekend, and we'd all help each other.
Right.
And so
Meaning you give each other the meat?
no, you just help.
You just help.
Oh, you help butcher. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it took.
Pretty hard to butcher a hog, huh?
Well, you go.
Takes
go
2 at
shoot him,
least.
and you gotta stick him and let him bleed.
Right.
Then you gotta load him up.
Wait a minute,
take
you
him
gotta
over
shoot him? Is that what
Yeah.
you said? And then you stick him?
Yeah, then you
gotta
cut
bleed
him.
him.
Blood out.
Okay,
Let
bleed
the
him.
blood
bleed.
out. And then you put him on a wagon or something, take him over where you got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, start this a fire under this water, get it boiling. And then the barrel was kind of a 55-gallon barrel, kind of buried in the dirt. and that you put that hot water in there. Then there was a board, a skid-like board. You laid the hog on there. You throw him in that hot water, bring him out, and then you scrape the hair off of it.
Oh.
And once you got it all scraped, and then you hang him up by his back legs, and we had a place to hang him. And then you split him and let his guts go down into a tub, and then you clean them all out.
And you call them chitlins, right?
And then chop them up in pieces.
When did they first come out with outhouses? Did you ever have an outhouse when you were
Yes, hell yeah.
I mean, that was where you when your dad was a coal miner, y'all had an outhouse?
Yes.
Right, okay, that wasn't bathrooms in the houses then?
Yeah, that was all kind of houses back then.
They had bathrooms in them?
No.
No.
As a matter of fact, after we butchered the hogs, we hang the meat in the meat house on the back porch. And we built the meat house. You leave gaps in it on purpose, let the cold air in the winter.
So it don't stink?
Keep the meat froze, you know.
Oh, keep it froze, yeah.
So we converted that made it a real building and put an inside bathroom. That was the first inside bathroom we ever had.
Oh, okay.
Was the meat freezer.
Right, you did have plumbing that went to a septic tank, or you just had a hole in the bottom?
No, we put a septic tank in the grain field and everything.
Right.
But yeah, when I was a kid, we'd take them at Halloween. That was the thing, go upset shit houses.
Yeah.
I was born in Pennsylvania and raised up till I stayed in 4th grade for 3 years because I played hooky so much. So that's when my dad took me up to West Virginia. So he had to work and everything. He couldn't control me. So.
Why were you in Pennsylvania? I mean, your dad and grandma lived in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
And then y'all moved from there over to West Virginia?
No, she moved. She left my dad and went with another guy.
Oh, okay.
And went down around Charleston, West Virginia. And then she ended up back up at.
They split up when you were around 4? Or when you were in the 4th grade, I mean?
I was small, I don't remember it. But
you were in the 4th grade or 5th
my sister,
grade?
I was in 4th grade when she gave me back to my mother.
Oh, okay.
And my sister just died last year. She took care of me for a long time. Then she got married and went off.
She was in West Virginia?
No, I was in Pennsylvania.
Oh, she's in Pennsylvania, okay. And you worked in the coal mines up there yourself for a while, right?
In West Virginia.
Right. What made you move to Florida?
I kept getting laid off so much.
Up there?
Yeah. And when you got laid off coal mine, man, the company store would only allow you $3 a day for groceries. And 5 kids, you didn't have the $3 a day.
$3 didn't get it. Wasn't no other kind of work up there?
Yeah. The guy that was the superintendent of coal mines, he knew that I had a big family, and he would he'd make work for me around his place and everything, and pay me cash, and or else he would go to the grocery store and tell him, send $50 worth of groceries up to his house or something. And they kind of took him. I'd drive cars in for used car lots and stuff like that. Yeah, I'd pick up other work.
Right.
But it wasn't a lot of coal mine was the main thing. We worked at Cone Brothers. Remember Cone Brothers?
Oh yeah, they're still around.
6th Street. They
They're
still there?
around, yeah, Cone Brothers still around.
Well, he had a job for me there at Cone Brothers, and I come down here, and there was a picket line. I went to go to work, and there was a picket line, and they're going to shoot you if you cross the picket line and all that.
Oh.
So I went to up on Nebraska Avenue, a record concrete. They put in septic tanks and stuff, and right there by Diamond Jim's place, there was a septic tank place right there. That's where my first job in Florida.
Putting in septic tanks?
Putting in septic tanks and drain fields.
Right, and then then you got a Thatcher glass from there?
And I got in the Thatcher glass.
Right.
I was staying at Camp, Nebraska, right around the corner from your house.
Yeah.
I kind of remember staying there.
And
Do you remember staying there a little
I
bit?
remember visiting there.
visiting Uncle Mickey.
Maybe that's what it was. We
Yeah,
visited there.
Uncle Mickey. And when they come down, they'd stay in one of them cabins.
Right, and I heard we had lived there before.
But two guys lived in one of the cabins. And they worked at Thatcher. Thatcher just opened. Then and they told me they'd give me a job out there, and they did. That's how I got into Thatcher.
We were all born in West Virginia, right? All of us except for Steve.
No, except Mike and Shelley.
And Steve.
Steve was born.
Steve was born down here.
Yeah.
Steve was born down here.
Yeah.
But Shelley No, Mike was born in Ohio. Yeah, Mike was the only one born in Ohio.
Well, when was Shelley born? She's old.
Shelley was born in West Virginia.
Why was Mike born in Ohio?
Why?
Did y'all
Because that's why I was out there working. When the coal mines get laid off, you run to Ohio and get a job.
Right.
And I worked in the defense plant out there. Did them 105 military shells,
Mm-hmm.
made them, and then they went on up the road to another town about 20, 30 miles away and got loaded. But where we made them, we actually made the shell, the housing itself. You know.
Right.
But,
It turns into a.
and that's why Steve was born in Ravenna, Ohio, just north
Not
of
Steve,
Warren.
Mike.
Mike, yeah, Mike.
Savannah?
Ravenna, Ohio.
Ravenna. Okay. That's where Uncle Nick, or Uncle, he lived up there anyway, didn't he?
Yeah,
Regis,
Regis, yeah. Well, Regis come up there actually. He come up there after I did. But he was smart. He stayed up there, and I went back. When the coal mines called me back, I went back to
Right.
the coal mines. And but he stayed up there, and Uncle Donald was up there for a while too.
Right.
Uncle Donald, one time we lived in Wyndham, and anyhow, he always had lights on his mud flaps on his car and all that. And I was coming home from work. He worked at a different place than I did. But this long straightaway, man, I seen all these lights on the back of this car. He had a 37 Plymouth and I had a 55 Ford. And I shut my lights off and I eased up to his back bumper. And I went him up about 100 miles an hour, turning loose. And then I turned my lights on and went around him. And he wanted to beat my ass.
What kind of car was that? That you ran him up to 100 miles an hour?
55 Ford.
55 Ford. What size engine?
Had a 272.
272.
272.
You go that fast?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh hell yeah! And what made you get into racing?
I'd done some racing up in West Virginia on old dirt tracks. And then when I come down here, I
You did some racing up there. What you had a stock car up there?
well, my brother did. He thought it was a stock car. Raymond had an old stock car, and I got started in it. Then I got to drive for another guy up here on a dirt track. But they call them dirt tracks, but what they did is just go out in a pasture field and cut a dirt track, and just people sat on the hillsides
Right.
and watched the races.
When did you get your first motorcycle?
Is that the policeman?
He's laughing. He's all down the road.
Oh, he's in the Jeep. That was a 1939 on that. So it had to be in the 50s sometime.
What kind of bike was it?
A Harley Davidson.
A Harley?
I never owned nothing
A
but
small one or
no, I think it was
a big one at the time? Or
at the time it was a 61 cubic inch or something like that.
right, yeah, that's the first bike you ever owned? It wasn't the first one you ever rode, was it?
No, it was the first one I rode. I rode other guys' bikes.
Right.
But this one, I couldn't afford to buy a battery for it. And I put a car battery in a saddlebag. And it run and the batteries, they fit down the oil tank went around, and the battery fit down there. It was about that long, about that big a square. It was expensive.
Proprietary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The right battery. So I put a car battery in a damn saddlebag and go on about my business.
Worked just fine, didn't it?
You talking about your mom's side of the family. Now you coming in some. See, she don't know who her dad was. I don't think.
Right, she told me that. Yeah, she told me she don't know who that. She and her mom died. Fell down an elevator shaft or something.
Yeah, her stepdad and her mom raised her until her mother got killed in the elevator shaft.
Right.
And then she helped raise Sonny and her sister. What was her sister's name?
I don't know. I remember
She come down here to visit your mom one time.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And you talking about life being a small world. Aunt Dolores' daughter lived on one street, and Lola's sister lived on another street.
Did we
You
go
walk
visit?
through 2 yards.
And they live by no way.
Yeah,